Recently, I was looking at some old photographs of myself, not for any reason to be vain or anything, just, just they were just online or somewhere or somebody sent them to me and I just had a quick look. Now, okay, it's nice to have memories and all that. But when I was looking at was the clothes I used to wear because, yeah. And yeah, I mean, yeah, yeah, Steve's giving a knowing smile here. Not about Nick Nobury, but yes, but normally I look quite normal, I suppose. More or less what I'd look. Yeah, but obviously you've only really got a headshot of me, but t-shirt, black t-shirt, or whatever, and jeans. Well, obviously this is nice, warm northeast Brazil shorts at the moment. Yeah. Um, so yeah, obviously it used to look quite normal. But when I used to go out sometimes, even to the pubs, even to a bar or pub, in sort of the 20s, late teens, 20s, used to dress up a bit to go clubbing. So I used to wear a cheesecloth shirt. If anyone ever seen them, the cheesecloth shirt looks like something out of a 17 or 1800s Netflix drama now. Yeah. I used to wear a waistcoat as well. Yeah, decent pair of trousers, waistcoat, because the clubs didn't used to let you in with jeans on. And as I later found out, cargo pants. But yeah, I sometimes used to wear a leather waistcoat as well, which actually I went out dressed like that with some colleagues from work one day in London, in East London. And they suggested that I might be at the wrong bar with them because there was the London Apprentice around the corner. If anyone knows sort of around the city of London, they'll know what the London Apprentice
They,
bar
they
is.
thought you were one of the village people.
That's basically it. Yes, you're on the right track. I mean, yeah, I was in my twenties. Yeah, it was quite stylish from the South End. Evidently not amongst my colleagues, but I must admit, you looked at them; they weren't exactly the most stylish collection of people you get. If any of them are listening, yeah, I mean, but yeah, the other times I would used to wear. I had a denim suit, or used to wear denim jacket, things, and yeah, my taste in music, and that was sometimes worn with a Floyd t-shirt, Pink Floyd t-shirt, Iron Maiden, Queen t-shirt, or whatever I was into, or even some weird graphic t-shirt, whichever. Yeah. I used to like it. It's a good look, got me noticed. Yeah. And other times, yeah, there was times I would dress up, yeah, in a slightly different way as well. I might have had a new romantic look as well, like Duran Duran, without all the makeup on my head, with sort of a grey shirt, normal shirt, t-shirt, the smart jeans or smart trousers. Yeah, depended on my mood. At some point, I even had a hat, a black hat, like a bow, not a bowler hat, a pork pie hat. Funny enough, my sister used to borrow that from me. I'm not quite sure what that says, but yeah,
It's madness. It's pure madness.
it's pure madness. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's a little bit madness, a little bit before my time, admittedly, going out. But yeah, well, they were still about, obviously, but yeah. On my feet, I would either wear monkey or Chelsea boots. I loved my Chelsea boots. I really did. I met my Brazilian wife, who did not share my love of Chelsea boots. I went to the shed one day and found they'd all been chucked out there. It got damp and ruined, which I wasn't too impressed with. But hey, we make our choices in life. She evidently wasn't a big fan of me wearing boots for whatever reason. Yeah. I'm not sure. Now I hardly wear any shoes at all where I live now. It's normally sandals or open sandals or trainers. Okay. Um, yeah, but in my lifetime, and I was just thinking this, I've seen a different changes in fashion. Obviously, I was born, well, likely in the 1970s. Yeah. And in that time, I saw an overhang from the flower power era, the glam rock. So probably I got like a Queen and everything else. So they came into being then, and Mark Bolan, T-Rex, and yeah, many others. Obviously, remember disco look. Yeah, every look that is. And obviously, sort of mid 70s, we had the punk as well. Yeah, if you remember that, let's see. Yeah, the spiked hair, some falling through, and then ears piercing. And basically, punk was wear whatever you want, and metal, of course, heavy metal look as well, which brings me back to my denims, what I used to wear. Yeah, in the 80s, we had New Romantics and the Posers. That's Duran Duran and what the Posers were. Soft metal look, where men, where men were dressing up with long hair and makeup, perfectly straight. Yeah. Then we also counteract that. We had the gender bender look as well. The Boy George Culture Club. Yes, it's quite interesting. Had hip hop and reggae as well thrown into the mix. Yeah. In the 90s, we had, I suppose, what you called a classic look, more traditional looks. And I think it's when goth really came into being as well, the 90s, the music coming through, which I was into a bit. And in the zeros, we had the indie and emos, which, yeah, was a totally different look, which possibly, yeah, my daughter, although she's not for that era, probably dresses more like, although she denies it, she's probably more, yeah, she's probably a cross between a goth and an emo when she goes out. So, yeah, she's got her own look. Yeah, I go to the shopping mall with her sometimes, looking around. There's probably only a couple, yeah. They seem to find these rarities who know he dress the same. Obviously, yeah, fashion's always fun, especially for young people. When you get to a certain age, you can't quite carry off the tight jeans or the leather trousers anymore, male or female, I may add. Yeah, or maybe the other looks as well. But it's always fun. It's sometimes fun to dress up to a theme party. You know, we overdo it. I do think it's funny that sometimes I'll see that when the youngsters have an 80s themed party, how they dress. And I thought, well, I certainly don't remember anything looking like that. But hey, that's what the films say, so it must be true. So there we go, Steve. Over to you on this one.
Well, you were talking about the different looks, you know. Me personally, I never followed it. I never followed a fashionable look. Let's put it like that. Right. As you know, with my background, when I was sort of, well, let's start from before I mentioned my folk era.
Yeah.
Right. So when I was like a 10 years old, 11 years old, that was in the days when platform shoes and flared trousers were in.
Yeah.
And I pestered my mother to get a pair of platform shoes. She didn't want me to, so I had to save up and buy my own.
Yeah.
And flared trousers,
Yeah.
what were they called? It was a type of, I think it was tweed trousers.
Yeah, the tweed
right?
Yeah. Yes.
Right. So I had them, of course. Then of course we had the high waisters.
Yeah.
Right, with the 6-button. If you look at the band the Rubettes, they're all wearing high waisters.
Yes.
So, that was in when I was around about 10, 11, 12 years old, that's the sort of stuff I used to wear.
Yeah.
And you'd think that I'd know better when I was an adult,
Mm.
but I'll run you through quickly, because I was more oriented on folk music
Yes.
and dance. So I was more inclined to look for collarless shirts, for example, which I just found one. I just found one in the wardrobe, an old one from 1935.
Cool.
A collarless dress shirt, actually.
Yeah.
I think I might be too big to wear it now because of my tummy, but I just washed it and put it on to dry. I'll try it on later. But I mean, it's collarless shirts, waistcoat, as you mentioned. In that time, our waistcoats were decorated with braiding and flowers and things like this, bordered with flowers and braiding. And I think at that time, I would wear it again. What I used to wear at that time. In terms of following the gender bending, queer, not so queer sort of look, I'd left England by that time. And so Karma Chameleon, I heard in Geneva. I didn't hear it in the UK. And so I was more or less my own man. The Europeans didn't really follow our fashion lines in the UK, unless it was a really, 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 really popular sort of thing. But these sort of flitting from one musical style to another, the Europeans didn't really go on to that. It's sort of most neutral.
Yeah.
But I've worn some horrific things in my past that, unfortunately, you mentioned photographs. People have taken photos and I still have them somewhere hidden around. I try not to look at them. I used to have a pair of green leather tight trousers, and left very little to the imagination. And I thought I looked cool. Well, as long as I did, I suppose.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
In terms of your Chelsea boots, I'm quite a fan of Chelsea boots as well. I really like Chelsea boots. I had a pair of Chelsea boots, one that was lace up, which are difficult to get hold of.
Yeah.
Right? And they were a very dark rustic red colour. Dark, rustic brown, sorry. Rustic brown, almost red.
Yeah.
Do you know, like you get Oxblood boot polish for your Doc Martens?
Yes.
Then I had to get that for my Chelsea boots,
Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
And almost sort of like a riding boot, if you like.
Yeah.
The model of it.
Yes.
But lace up.
Yeah.
Okay. And not so high. Not so high.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just around the ankles. Just around the ankles.
Yes, that's right.
Do you remember stretchy jeans?
Yes, I remember the stretchy jeans. Yeah.
I used to wear stretchy jeans. Yeah. That was before my belly appeared.
Okay.
And when I look back at that, I'm thinking to myself, I was here in Brazil. I brought a lot of fashion.
Yeah.
I was ahead of Brazilians here.
Yeah.
When it comes to fashion. Excuse me. And when my kids were born, I still used to wear stretchy jeans.
Yeah.
And I would be around about 32, 33 years old at the time.
Yeah.
And I remember chasing after one of the kids in a shop, and the girl attendants there. Well, I caught out the corner of my eye, one nudging the other to look at me, because I had these looked like a Rudolf Nureyev, the ballet dancer. Chasing after these kids,
Yeah.
So I stopped wearing stretchy jeans after that episode.
Yes. Yeah.
I used to wear my hair in a mullet, what's called a mullet.
Yes. Yeah.
I was proud of my mullet until somebody pointed it out to me, and then I didn't even realize it was a mullet until they told me, and so I went to investigate on the internet. What is a mullet? And I saw all these mullets of these really crazy looking blokes, and so I had to change my hair.
Yeah.
And I was never really one to follow fashion. Waistcoats, I had a suede waistcoat one time.
Yeah.
In fact, when I was in the UK, or when I go back to the UK, I wear a cap. Because normally it's colder, and I wear a flat cap.
Yeah, right.
But that's only just to keep my head warm.
Yeah, practical.
Because it's amazing how much heat you lose through your head when you're when you're in the UK, when it's cold.
Yeah.
So no, go on.
No. I mean, I'm just sort of saying, I wear a beanie hat, because I'm a Gen X, so we wear beanie hats. Yeah, but
Dex is come on, Eileen.
Yeah, sort of like
Dex
that. Yeah,
Midnight Runners.
It wasn't quite like that. Yeah, these are the wooden hats. It's interesting you talk about haircuts, because in my time I've also had hair long. To the point, health and safety. When I went to college, health and safety, we're using lathes. And I just had to be in the class, and the guy mentioned health and safety, and then just saw me, like my main T-shirt, the denims on, and it just, my hair a little bit longer. And he said, you haven't quite got to tie that back, but, if it gets any longer, I'd insist you do. Fair enough, And then at some if I had a number two done when I got a bit older, what we call number two, which I said the other day, made a joke of, but literally just a random thing I had done. And I can't remember why. Yeah, I was at somebody's house. One of the girls there was training to be a hairdresser or something, I think. Yeah. And a girl rough guy's got a free haircut. She was just practicing doing a number two, so I got a free haircut. Can't go wrong with a number two, can you? The shaved hair. And I went into work, and I was a consultant at the time, still a bit of a rebel. And my boss said to me, he said, "I'm not impressed with you, Mark." What? Normally you're okay. Yeah, not yeah. Yeah, I don't agree with your haircut. I will not have my consultants looking like Nazis. With the actual words. Hope we don't get censored for that. Yeah, it's in context. Yeah. Yeah, and I found that quite funny. I found it amusing. But yeah, then I did actually grow it out a bit. Practical hairstyle. So I had to wear bump caps or hard hats and things like that. It was in summer. But yeah. Yeah.
I went out one day and bought an overcoat.
Yeah.
A little bit like an anorak, not an overcoat, but a little bit like an anorak. And it looked like a straitjacket.
Yeah.
I thought it was great. I thought it was different. And when I got it home, I realized because, when you put your hands in your pockets, it looks like you're in a straitjacket. You're walking down the street on the high street and somebody thinks there's a lunatic on the roof.
Yeah.
But, I've had many disasters.
Yeah.
Thinking that I'm buying something really good in the shop, getting it home and going out wearing it. You get some of the odds. So I suppose if you think of do you know who Miles Jupp is? Miles Jupp, he's a comedian in the UK, and he's a very, very sort of staid, tank top sweater. Sort of chap, sort of a no. Well, anyway, you have to Google him and put his face on this when you do the editing. And I wore him very much like him. I went through a phase of looking like a black and white movie.
Oh, right.
All my clothes were black, grey, or white.
Right.
So it was grey trousers, white shirt, black waistcoat, black cap, black overcoat, or and I looked like all I needed was a cane and a little moustache, and you would have thought I was Charlie Chaplin, because I walk like him. But yes, coming here in Brazil, like I said, I used to have both my ears pierced. I used to have both my ears pierced. Probably because of the folk influence of me. But when I arrived here in 1991, and I go to the beach, and people saw that I used to wear two sleeper earrings.
Yeah.
And I was probably they looked at me as if I had two heads, never mind two earrings. They really found it strange. Women used to come up to me and ask me why you're wearing two earrings.
Yeah.
And I said, because I've got two ears. If I had 3 ears, I'd wear three.
Yeah.
And that's how I know. And when my dad visited me in 94, 95, my dad used to have tattoos on his arms.
Yeah.
And them's were the days when if you had a tattoo, you were a problem.
Yes.
And nowadays we see that everybody's got 2 earrings, 3 earrings, 5 earrings.
Yeah.
Tattoos all over the place that you can see more tattoo than you can see bare flesh, But I like to think that I helped in the nurturing of this idea of of wearing 2 earrings. I was one of the first with the repercussion that I had as a tourist.
Yeah.
All those 30 years ago.
Yeah.
So, but I've never been one to keep up with a certain what you can define as a when I was 18, 19, I used to wear tight jeans and what was called a funky jacket. It's like a blazer in the style of a funky jacket. and a t-shirt.
Yeah.
And that was to go to the discos.
Mm.
I went through a phase, I think about 6 months ago, into discos before I tired of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I've never really sort of followed a certain, such and such a band wears their clothes like that, so I must follow. I've never been one of those. I've always done my own thing. Sometimes it worked.
Mm.
Many times it probably didn't. But then,
Well,
that's probably why I've never had a girlfriend.
well, yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, I did pretty much my own thing. I mean, obviously, yeah, I was always a bit more into rock than anything else, which at the time was strange. It wasn't really Vogue, although we had, John Bon Jovi and things like that. Yeah, it was always interesting. Parents used to look at it, and then, obviously Boy George was floating about in the 80s and that. And the parents liked the music. They saw him on Top of the Pops and went, wow, yeah, great voice, great music. I mean, to me, he's a talented guy. He did his own thing. Didn't mean, I mean, yeah, say about kids being influenced and everything else. We had Boy George. We had the Gender Benders, Pete Burns of Dead and Alive. I suppose, I mean, David Bowie is a music god to me. I mean, yeah, he had some contentious things, obviously, from the 70s through into the 80s. Never influenced by him. Just listen to the music. That was what it was all about. We never really outrageous. I mean, possibly my parents commented more about my sister than they did me. I think my father one day, I actually had a waistcoat where I can't remember, and a green waistcoat. And my father said red and green should never be seen. And of course, it used to be untucked shirt with a waistcoat on. My father used to go absolutely berserk, not berserk at me. He said, tuck yourself in, No, that just wasn't the look.
My sister, she was heavily into the Bay City Rollers when she was a girl.
Yeah.
And she used to cut jeans up and put a tartan fringe on the bottom of it, and a tartan thing that came at the side of the leg.
Yeah.
And the little white Skinner jacket. I think they're called Skinner jackets.
Yeah.
It's like a white denim jacket.
Yeah.
I used to have a Wrangler jacket as well. A Wrangler jacket.
Yeah. I think we used to mix and match, so to speak. Not suggesting you mixed and match with your sister. But yeah, it's quite funny you talk about it. My daughter one day, she went and bought this pair of jeans, not expensive ones, but then immediately put some slits in the knees. And I went and got my working jeans. I said, look, I'm already in fashion here, because I had a great big hole in one of them.
That's right.
When people sort of moan about fashions, I don't mind it so much of younger people personally, because I think it's right when you're younger, you express yourself. I think that's right and proper. I do like some of the fashions. Some of them are quite creative now. I mean, Brazil's a little bit different. Where we live in Brazil, we couldn't wear a lot of the fashions we used to wear or clothes.
No,
we just
far too heavy. Too heavy.
I mean, I left all mine. I mean, I had long leather jackets in the UK. Yes, I think I had long leather jackets, so I left them all in the UK. They've since been given away to people or sold. I don't know. Because I'll never wear them again. I mean, they'll just go into dust there. I mean, it's. Yeah, I mean, my wife is probably more one for clothes than I am now. Being Brazilian, she makes her own as well. If anyone in Brazil wants the clothes, please feel free to get in contact with us. But we have our own. She makes clothes as well, but again, it's all aimed at the Brazilian market. It's all very light. Yeah, we know how some of the women go out here. It's almost why bother almost, but no, it's not quite that bad. I mean, it is hot here. It's like you said, when you said you had your stretched jeans on, how did you survive and wear them?
Well, you leave here at the house and you go directly to the shopping centre.
Yeah.
It's all air conditioned, so
Yeah. Oh yeah. The places I avoid. Shopping malls, not a big fan.
Me too these days. It's been years since I've been to a shopping centre. Years.
Yeah, the only time obviously, changing it a bit. Yeah, I mean, obviously they've got all the fashion shops in there. I think one time I was in there was a friend of mine. He was going around re-kitting himself out. And he was going to shops, and I was saying, "Yeah, suits you, sir. Suits you, sir." He's going, "Shut up, shut up." Yeah, two guys walking in choosing clothes. You know, that doesn't look at all peculiar. Yeah, I mean, I've walked around. I mean, yeah, I tend to. I've got one on now. Stamp T-shirts, things like that. I know you're not a big fan of them. Yeah, I still like. Well, I've got my now. Yeah, if I go out, I might wear Star Wars T-shirts or superhero T-shirts now, rather than as opposed to bands or groups, simply because you can't really get them in Brazil. You can get Beatles T-shirts. You can't really get Pink Floyd or many of the other groups I'm into, or you do, but you pay a lot of money for them. So, but yeah, so that's it.
You
Yeah,
do a favor. Do me a favor.
Yeah.
Let's stop there a second.
Yeah.
Let me just check. Let me just.
Yeah. So, yeah, I used to enjoy dressing up, putting my fashion on. It is quite incredibly interesting because I teach some younger students about it, and I show them pictures from the 70s, the 80s, which was really the era I grew up in, the 90s. Yeah, especially in Brazil, obviously. The influences were slightly different here. Although when you look at some of the groups from the 80s, they weren't dissimilar to our groups. Some of the pictures and things, the influences were coming through into Brazil.
Yeah, you mentioned the goths and the emos.
Yeah,
I could never work out which one's which.
Goths tend to be black. Yeah, slightly. Yeah, the dark eyeliner.
More somber, yeah.
More somber, yeah. Obviously, it's based on the whole horror theme, probably an overthrow from metal. Emos tend to have the dyed hair brushed to the side, sometimes long. Yeah, it's short for emotional. They tend to
to me, it's like looking at a Chinese guy. They all look the same.
Well, yeah, that's it. Yeah, it's all yeah, the youngsters do tend to think like that. Actually, I was at school. We had school one day, and my school used to have a school uniform. Black, actually black. We're the only one in black. And okay, it's a Catholic school. There was, yeah, Thomas More, black emblem, or the emblem. But one day you could pay your money for charity, and they had a non-school uniform day once a year or twice a year, whatever. And of course, we all paid our money from our parents. You know, gave us only 50 pence or something. Yeah, we went there. We had a school uniform on, and yeah, my full mistress, the class mistress I had, she looked at us all one day and she said, "You just exchange one uniform for another." Yeah, because you could look across the class, and it was all, yeah, almost all exactly the same. Yeah, it didn't. I mean, some people used to have variations on the school uniform as well, but yes, yeah, because I went to an all boys school, so really, you know, there wasn't any real scope.
You can always tell when a certain fashion, when you look back, that we look ridiculous.
Yeah,
you touched upon it. Some time back in this video of fancy dress parties, where you have a 1970s or 1980s themed fancy dress party. Nobody goes to a fancy dress party to dress thinking that they look great. You know, they would normally get all the things, you know, like the wide open, huge collared shirts, you know, and open to the navel.
Yeah.
For the 70s and 80s sort of Don Johnson sort of look.
Yeah.
Because they realize, you know, that, you know, back in the day, you know, we thought we were cool.
Yeah.
But of course we never were.
Yeah. But even back then it was fun. There was a lot of parody. You used to watch NSL, Sunday Night Live, or other programs like that from the time. And there was a lot of joking. And even in the films, they used to joke about it as well. And the big hair. The girls had the big hair. Some of the men did as well. The big hair. Yeah. I saw a video of a young lady who was trying to tease up the hair. God, I even know the terms. Yeah, big hair. How did you girls in the 80s keep your big hair? Because, you know,
modern hairspray.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but we have CFCs in the hairspray then. It was good stuff. Yeah. I mean, even I had that. You know, we used to, I mean, yeah, hair flopped down and all that. Yeah, because I used to spike my hair a bit, and yeah, you had the really tough hairspray you put on it, or there was the gel as well. Stuff that'd be banned now, rightly so as well, because it was toxic stuff. Really, it did the job. But yeah, this poor girl, she was trying to go for the 80s look, and it just kept going. Yeah, you have to get the proper spray to do it. Yeah, I think when they're actually doing an 80s thing on the TV and all that, they've always got the hairdressers on hand just to keep it all going, because it's difficult to keep up. Yeah. But yes, I mean, okay, that's where the references is now for a lot of youngsters. You can watch a Netflix period drama, from what we call period drama now, from the 1980s and 90s. We had them on BBC. I watch them. I get reminded. I'm still watching 80s films sometimes, even ones I have never watched before. Things that were probably considered at the time not successful are cult favourites now. Whether it's people like me trying to reminisce, going all retro, not accepting that I'm actually old, and we all go, oh, the 80s was a great time to live. Actually, I've had youngsters say that to me. If they had their time, they'd like to live in the 80s, and the dressing and the way they dressed and everything else. Nobody cared. I think that was the big difference. Nobody really cared.
Well, there's nothing to stop the youngsters from doing that now.
Well,
it's only clothes.
Yeah, I think
I did my own thing.
Yeah, well, we did. I mean, like I say, sort of said of a uniform, but yeah, we did. I don't know. I think the internet's a lot to do with that now. I think all judgmental. I might be wrong. Instagram, they all got to be judged on Instagram. It's a commenting. When we were growing up, we liked to be different. That's what we were. We even thought we were different, even if we looked the same.
Yeah,
we wanted to be different. There seems to be a little bit more of a cult now to everybody wanting to be the same. I don't quite understand that. All think the same, all be the same, be seen to be doing the right things. If somebody told me to do something when I was in my teenage years, I'd do exactly the opposite, because no way was anyone going to tell me what to do.
What to do.
Yeah. But we probably subconsciously did it, but it was natural influences. We go in a shop, okay, you buy what's in the shop. Even then, we go to Top Man, was one brand. I don't know, I think CNA, when we had CNA. We still got CNA in Brazil. Went to CNA clothes. Top Shop, Top Man. What's the other one? There used to be lots of these branded things that were independent shops at the time that gradually got bought out or became other things. And now, and of course what happened is people didn't have so much disposable income, so everybody was going to Primark to buy price cut fashions.
My sister's favourite place.
Actually, I mean, people knock it. It's a good place. You go there, you get a pair of jeans for £3. Girls were buying there.
Sewn together by little Chinese hands.
Yeah, well, we didn't know that at the time. Yeah,
I'm sure we did.
Well, we didn't ask the wrong questions.
But £3 for a pair of jeans, you don't ask. There you are.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's it.